Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Since Company of Heroes had a free giveaway of Company of Heroes 2 last weekend, quite a few people have downloaded this game and they really don't know how to set it up and what the proper setup would be to get the best graphics, the sound, and so on. So I was actually contacted, messaged by a few people from YouTube saying if I could make maybe some sort of a tutorial, like a crash course tutorial on how to set this up and what would be the best settings. Apparently, they've been searching on YouTube and they haven't found something that would help them out. So I decided to do quick stream tutorial on the basic setup of the game. Hopefully this will help a beginner that just installed this game, his or her game I should say. So here we go. We installed the game. I double clicked the icon on the desktop and the game opened up. You guys see Company of Heroes. You see uh, your username in here on the right corner. You see this little box in here. I will get into the details what you need to do. And here you see your country that you've picked. I'm currently playing with Soviets, so you see the Soviets icon. You could click that icon and you'll see all of the available sites to you. I only have US Forces, Walmart, and Soviets downloaded. So by clicking on the site on the icon, you will change your default army. From now on, every time you start the game, this is what will show up on your screen. So let me go back to Soviets because I play with Soviets. I don't want to forget to change it later. Now let's get into the graphics and the sound setup and the mouse setup and so on. To get to that, you need to go to your options. As you can see, there are no options in here on the front page, so you need to click on the menu button here on the left corner on the bottom, and you'll see quite a few options in here, and one of them says options. The button says options. Click options and the options window will open up. You get the gameplay, graphics, sound, and broadcasting. In the gameplay, the only thing that actually changed myself was the mouse scroll speed and key scroll speed. I can't tell you which is the best. This takes quite a few trial and errors. So you could select your key scroll speed, your mouse speed, and then kind of start an easy match against the AI to test out to see if you like, how quick your mouse scrolls and so on. If you like it, keep it that way. If you don't like it, come back here again, do your changes, click accept, go do your test. I did not change any of these default settings in here. Sure enough, you could change it if you don't want to have, if you want to have different player colors. You know what? I'm gonna change the player color actually. If you want to change your sticky keys or have sticky keys, um, uh, this is something that is up to your preference. If you leave the default settings, everything should be fine. In the graphics tab, this is where actually gets it's a little important. Usually what I did my first time, I clicked on auto detect, and Company of Heroes detected the highest settings for me, and then I was able to go and change the settings to what I think my video card should handle. You could click on your resolution to the maximum, change your texture details, and so on and so forth. I went ahead and I put my resolution to maximum, and I actually changed my anti-aliasing to higher. And you click accept, the game takes the settings, and then if you want to see if you ruin the performance of your game, you could click on performance test, and it will run a quick test for you. It will, I guess, put your game through all of the tests, and you will have an idea if your settings are too high, if it's going to ruin the performance of your game or not. What I did was I didn't like my settings that I selected, so I clicked on auto detect again. My settings came back to pretty high. I mean, um, there is nothing higher than high in physics. There is nothing high than in snow details. Texture details is at the highest. Resync on, anti-aliasing it's at low, so it's pretty decent. Honestly, I don't see much of a difference when I change the anti-aliasing unless you scroll very close to the units and then you see the jagged edges on the units or on the buildings. So anti-aliasing kind of removes those jagged edges, but it does put kind of a lot of pressure on your video card, which slows down the video card if you don't have a top of the line crazy video card. And to be honest, for this game, it isn't as important as other settings. I did leave it on low. You know, you could have it off completely. I left it on low so doesn't look too jaggy when I try to zoom into the units when I'm recording. Image quality highest, it could be at maximum, but I figured higher should be enough. And it also found automatically the display resolution of my monitor. If you want to change the display settings you could, but I left it at the automatic settings. uh, Sound. Sound. I have these headphones that I have. There are 5.1 headphones actually. They have like three speakers. Well, I should say, um, I guess they have three speakers on each side, so this should be 3.1 uh, settings. But I decided to put it at 5.1, and I don't see any difference. So each of my speakers in my headphones give me the front speaker, the back speaker, and the middle. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a subwoofer, which is the point one actually there, which is the subwoofer. But the way it's set up, that there's enough bass that it kind of compensates for that. Um, Music volume is the music that it plays during the game. Speech volume is the sound that you hear when your units talk. Master volume is pretty much the whole sound of the whole game. You could bring it up or down. And SFX is the sound effects like the explosions, the airplanes, the wind, and so on. I sometimes the music just annoys me too much, and I have other music playing in the background during my stream, so I turn the music pretty low because sometimes I like to hear the music in the background. Uh, Master volume, I have it pretty loud. Speech volume, I had to bring it down a few days ago because sometimes the speech of the unit is so much louder that I cannot hear the people that I'm actually talking to when I'm streaming. And broadcasting does not work. So don't waste your time. I spent hours and hours trying to figure out how to get this Twitch to work. And finally, the research shows online that there's some sort of a bug that I guess they decide not to fix, so you cannot connect your Twitch account to through the Company of Heroes. If someone figure out how to do it, I would love to hear from you. You could leave a message in on my stream to let me know how to do this. It would be great. For now, I know this doesn't work. So after doing all the changes, I'm going to click on accept, and voila, our game is ready to play. From here, you guys could click on a campaign. It will allow to pick one of the two games, and it's pretty much a storyline that you could follow. Very interesting and fun, especially for the beginners. It will teach you exactly how to select your units, what to do with them, when to throw them, which is pretty cool. I will also have my own tutorial, which is not gonna be just the like they have it. Mine will be more of like a crash course, and I will be using my Soviet units to kind of go through the setup and how to select units. I am not going to go through detailed information on how to throw the grenades and what they do, how to set them up, and which grenade is better than another one. There's quite a few tutorials online like that, and honestly, I made a tutorial which I got no response about it. So it takes quite a long time, and if no one wants to watch it or respond to it, I don't know if I should make them or not. You guys are welcome to get come back to me and let me know if you guys want me to make more tutorials and what you want me to do. Then if I see a good response, I most likely will make one. Let's go back out of here. Theater of War. I haven't played it at all. As you can see, it's all zeros. But it is my understanding you get to play missions. Honestly, I don't want to give bad, wrong information. So it's just like, uh, I don't know. I'm not gonna give information about this. I don't want to be wrong. Online skirmish is what I do. To create a game that I to create a game that I could play simply just with my friend, choose a map, or to test out my settings. Like I said earlier, you could create a custom game, uh, select your own map, invite a player if you want to have a partner, or you could put a computer as a partner. Select the computer, the select how hard you want it to be, or how strong you want it to be. Change the sides. You could also get your team to either invite a player or add a computer, easy to an expert. When I try to test out my settings, usually I don't invite here and as a teammate, and I'll just put like an easy CPU so it doesn't bug me while I'm testing out some settings and so on. So right now we're going to well, let me go back again and show the remaining stuff, and then we'll come back here and I'll show you guys in details on how to set up your army and so on. So let's go back a step. So in here we see auto match versus AI. It will automatically find you an AI to play against. You could select how many AI you want to play against and how hard you want it to be, hard, standard, and it's I think it's just like custom game where you could just invite an AI and play against. I did not see any difference in here. What I guess the only difference I see is that in a custom game I could decide which map I want. In here it decides for you. We have the automatic versus players. This is what I usually use. I'll just come in, decide how many people I want to play against, click start searching, and the company of heroes will find a match. Hopefully someone on my level, but sometimes it seems like it doesn't do a good match because either you get a very new person that you fight with, or you might get like an expert that will just crush you. But you know, if you get crushed, don't get discouraged, go try again. Plus it's just a game, it's supposed to be about having fun. So as long as you had fun, even if you're lost, as long as it was a fun game, that's all that matters, right? So let's go back to my custom game. I'm going to select easy CPU so it doesn't bug me while I'm trying to explain what needs to be done during the game, or how to start up the game, I guess. So let's click start. Keep in mind, different countries or different factions have different way their base is set up. Some of them, like UK and the US, the base is already built in. You just select on a click on the buildings and start the upgrades from there. With Soviets, the game starts with your main base. Here it is. It's the field headquarters, as you can see. When you click on the field headquarters on this right, on the right hand, oh, let me turn off my video really quick because you guys will not be able to see what um, what I'm showing to you guys. Let me see if I could do this really quick. There we go, and I guess let me remove, let's do it this way. Um, Here we go, much better. So, so you see on the right hand corner, it gives me options. This is what I can build. The options are engineers and infantry squad. These are the options or the people I could build or train out of the main headquarters. um, there's also an option of upgrading or giving extra options to your units. So for example, you see the anti-tank grenades package, you see the Molotov package, and you see the field infantry. Field infantry doesn't give your units any abilities, but it adds like a hospital, I guess, to your headquarters. So when you retreat your units, damaged units, they could come back here and you will see they are being automatically healed. And it is very important because when you have damaged units, even though your unit is fully loaded but haven't been healed, they will lose health and they will die much quicker. So I'm going to show you all those, a few of these things so you guys could have an idea what happens. So first off, I'm going to build my infantry squad. I will click on my infantry squad and you guys can see that it's filling this bar up, which means it's training my infantry. While the infantry is being trained, I'm going to select my engineers. Engineers are your main units or beginning units that are very important to build buildings, to heal tanks, and there are a few other things that they could do, which I will get into in a minute. So let's start with the engineers really quick. So once you select the engineers, you will see the options on the right hand here. They will change. When the options change, well, when you get used to your units, you will see that each unit has different options. So once you select the engineers, you'll know that this is actually engineers that you've selected. Engineers will give you two main options, or actually three main options that are available to you from the beginning. A repair option, which at this point I have nothing to repair. Production buildings, so if you click the production buildings, you will see the buildings that you're able to build. You see these two buildings here are grayed out. That is because these buildings require an additional step, which for these two, or actually to make any of these two, I have to build. I'm sorry, to make. Yeah, to be allowed to build these buildings, you have to put one of these two. One of them is combat. Uh, I forget what these ones were called. Hold on. I forget what this building is called, but this building gives you an option to make scout snipers, light scout car, panel battalions, one of my favorite units, a special rifle uh, command. Uh, hmm. Let's put this building up and see what options we get there. Um, one little advanced option that I can show you guys, or I should teach you guys, is you could give all of your units additional commands that would be queued and will be done once the previous command has finished. When I select the engineers and I selected the building to build, if you press the shift button on your keyboard, keep holding it, you could actually tell your units additional give your units additional commands. So I could tell my unit build this while I'm holding my shift command. I could select my unit and tell him, okay, then go take over this point. And you will see when this building is completed, my engineers will automatically go and start taking over the point. Let's watch this happening right now. See, the engineers will start moving and they will eventually come here and take over this point. So while the engineers are running, taking over the point, let's go and look at the units that we have. So we have the sniper, we have the light scout car, and we have the panel battalion in a special rifle command. So the name of the building was Special Rifle Command Building. And this one, the second building I built was Support Weapon Campania. In this building you could build your Maxim machine gunner, you could make a mortar squad, and you could make your field gun, and which I call them the anti-tanks because they do, they're pretty much useful to kill tanks. Excuse me. Let's go back to our main building, or the headquarters, and I want to talk about the upgrades. Um, I find that field infantry upgrade is very important to get your units up to upgrade healed, but I also find that if I use 250 man power right now in the beginning, then I won't have enough manpower to create other units to go and take over the map. And taking over the map quickly, the points on the map are very important. I will get to those any minute now. So let me, I guess let's talk about the map itself really quick, so then I can move forward, because I'm going to be using the map during my tutorial a few times. Uh, since I know the AI is taking over points and I'm running out of time, or not really time, but I'm not gaining any ammunition or gas, so I could build out other units. I'm gonna quickly go and take over some of the points on the map. So let's look at the map here. You see this circle map. This is like a strategy map. On this map you can see where your units are, what points you have taken over, and if you look closely you will see little circles. You see the gas, you see the ammunition, and of course you see the three big stars. The three big stars are also the stars that you see on top of your screen up there. If you see, one of them is red, two of them are white currently. That's because the AI took over the middle star, and you can see that my timer is running out now, and once this timer hits 0, I will lose. So whoever takes over all three stars will make the timer run out faster and wins. uh, so I'm going to send one of my units to take over the left star to stop this timer from counting down, and I'm going to use my engineers to move on and take over points. Now you guys could see that when I selected my engineers have two more options that were grayed out previously. That is because I didn't have enough ammunition in the beginning to use these options. When you have enough ammunition, these extra options will open up. One of the options is a flamethrower, which gives a flamethrower to your engineers, gives them extra power to fight off units. And one will give you hazard remover package, which allows you to cut through barbed wire, and most importantly find mines that are buried in the ground by your opponent. Mines can get really deadly really quick. So I'm not going to use those options right now. I will let you guys decide what you want to use during the game. What I'm going to do is, actually I could go around and take over some points on a map right now, but I want to show you an option that engineers have, something that I was talking about earlier. There's two main options. One of them was the production buildings option that allows you to build buildings, and another one is to put mines and razor wire or barbed wire. So to put the mine, you click on the mine, you select the spot. Usually you put you put the mine in the area that you think they will be coming from, so it'll be a surprise for the opponent when it comes to take over this point. Click on the ground and you will see the engineers will start making their mines. I'm going to press shift button, select my engineers, and give them another command to build something else. Well, the mines just finished much quicker than I was able to do the shift command and give them additional commands. So, but in case you wanted to give them quite a few commands, again, you press shift and then you left click anywhere and tell them what to do by left clicking the mouse. So let me step back, not to rush, and I want to show you what I wanted to do in here. If you click the building button, you will see that you have these two options. These are, I call them capping the points. You could put a cap of ammunition or cap of fuel. Uh, you could put you could put those caps only on the little circles on a map, or the points that are shown as circles on a map. These caps will stop your opponent from taking over this point until they destroy the cap. Plus, it will give you extra resources. If you see right now on the map, it says +3, +5 on this circle, which means it's you in addition to manpower that you're receiving, it's going to let you have 5 ammunition and 3 fuel every, I believe it's every minute or so. If you put the cap of fuel in here, once they finish building that cap, you will see that this number of the fuel number will change, which means you'll be getting more fuel. So let's wait really quick for for the fuels for the cap to finish building. And now instead of having +3, we have +6 fuel, which isn't much, but it's very helpful during the fights, especially if all your points are cut off and you're not making anything from the actual fuel points. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to press shift button. I'm going to uh, use the little map, the circle map in here, and tell my engineers where to go, and able to select quite a few points on a map instead of going like this and scrolling around the map and looking for the points. So I select my units, press shift, keep the shift button, and left click on a point you right click on a point that you want to go to. If you are selecting the uh, if you're scrolling around the map and you wanna select your points that way. But if you are, oh, I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. I'm sorry. So if you want to use the actual circle map or the strategy map as they call it, again you press the shift button and then you select those points on the map itself and right click on them, and you will see your guys will start going to those points. So I selected 1, 2, 3 points. Now I let go of the shift button, and if I follow my engineers, I will see they will take over 1 point and then another point and then another point until they get to their destination. Give me a minute, let me change my settings in here really quick. Oh, what the heck? My screen isn't showing anything. What happened? Huh. For some reason my stream stopped showing stuff. Oh, there it goes. It started to work again. Yeah, so let's, you guys saw that my engineer left this point. It took over this one, and then eventually it will come take over this point. Let's let the engineer do his thing. Let's go back to our map in here, and I'll give you a few details about the map. On a map, anytime your engineers or anytime your units get into a fight, which hopefully we will end up meeting the AI somewhere on the map and we will get into a fight, you will see that it will start blinking on this little circle map, and you could just quickly double click on on your unit straight on the map itself, and go to that area where the action is happening. You could also see these icons right here on the top right corner. You could see that I have engineer and a rifleman. If you want to jump straight to those units, you could just double click on that rifleman, and the camera will jump to that rifleman. Let's go back to our main base. Actually, let me go give you a little bit more information about this strategy map and all these little circles that we have in here on the corners. One of them says next idle infantry. If you click that, which is also um, uh, if you click that, it will take you to the unit that is standing around on the map and doing nothing. If I click again, it will go to this unit. If I had more units that were standing and doing nothing, it will jump to those units so I could quickly use them. You see this one that says next idle vehicle is the same thing as the units will jump to the vehicles that are idle doing nothing. I don't have any vehicles at this point, so it will not show anything to me. You can see the tactical map arrow. This will actually open up this map into a much bigger map, and you could see all the points on the map and their cutoff points. But by this you could see the how they're cut off and how those points are set up on the map. um, and you could also see your units moving around. You could select your units right from here and tell them where else to go. You could also press the shift button and kind of add extra commands to your units, and they will go from one command to another command as long as the command is completed. um, you could see the menu icon in here. If you click the menu icon, you could restart the game, you could quit the match, you could go actually to the options and change your sound settings and the graphic settings if you need to change something during the game. Be careful, don't exit the windows because you will drop out of the game. Just click on resume and resume your match. What else do we have in here? Attack here option pretty much tells your opponents, or not opponents, your partners, that if you have a partner that you're playing with, tells them where you want them to attack, or if you need help from them, or at least or just get their attention. So you guys can see that now we have AI attacking my unit, and you can see on the map that it's a yellow circles. That's kind of letting you know that there's an action happening, there's fight happening. And let's say I wasn't I wasn't watching that fight, but I wanted to see that there's what's happening. Look at it, shows me that there's a fight happening right now. I could double click quickly in that area and jump straight to that fight and see what's going on there. If you need to retreat, you can retreat. If not, you could continue fighting with these guys. I'm going to retreat just so I can show you how to retreat your units. This is a very good moment to show you. While your unit is selected, you see this red arrow on the right corner here. It says retreat. You click that arrow with your mouse, or on your keyboard you could press the T button, and your units will retreat all the way back to the base, and very quickly too. While our units are retreating, I'm going to actually upgrade my options in here. Turn on the select the field infirmary. So once my units get here, it will start healing them. So far the infirmary is still being created, so you see my units aren't being treated. But let's see what happens right now.
Comrades, we have now installed a field hospital at headquarters.
You heard the I guess notification that I have that upgrade ready,
We took
and
out
you can see
many.
that my units are being healed, and you can see that little bar
Engineers have
that's
secured the sector.
that's changing and filling up, getting full. At this point, my units
There are
got
no
healed
cowards here.
completely, but the bar isn't fully loaded. That is because I
Rifle
am
at ready.
missing units in my group. uh, there's so much the healing can do. It will not replenish your units. You actually have to press the plus button, which is called reinforce button, and you will see that it's actually training new units. Or you
The
could
enemy is
press
encroaching on
R
our
on your
territory.
keyboard, and it will also start
Okay,
training new
that's
units
the
for
last
you.
one.
And there we go, my
Conscripts
group is
here.
fully loaded, and you can see the bar is fully loaded. My guys are fully ready
Soldiers
for a new
ready.
battle. I'm going to send them to fight.
Forward.
Well, before I do
March.
that, I want to show you something. So if you right click
We are
anywhere on the
away.
map, your guys will start running around.
We will get
Right
there.
clicking just means go there. It will not, your units will not stop and fight the enemy units if they pass next to them. You could,
On our
it
way.
is very useful to actually do an attack move, which is this one, the A
The
the A
enemy is
button on the
taking what we
keyboard,
have
or this
secured.
this icon right here. If you select that icon, you left click
Yuri,
anywhere on the
wake up.
map,
We're moving out.
left click, remember that. And now your units will move to that area, but while they're moving there, they will stop and fight whoever they see on the way.
Das
So,
gleich.
or you could click, press the A button on your keyboard, press and let go once, and then tell your
It
units
will be
where you want
ours.
them to go. I used the map here, and I told my units to go to that point. If there was someone on the way, they would have fought that
Enemy
unit.
forces capturing supply sector.
Uh, let's talk about the generals really quick. You could get multiple generals. Each of
We
the
have the
generals
point.
has different options that they give you, so you could try to play, try to use these generals against an AI, and see which ones you like the most. My favorite ones are the shock troops, so I picked the Soviet shock army or shock rifle frontline tactics. They give me different options. In this one, I get IS-2, the heavy tanks, so I'm going to select this general,
Shock troops
and you
awaiting
will see
deployment.
those three options
Heavy 8
disappeared,
flamethrower tanks
but
are
I
now
got
available
the
to cover the
options that
German
this
sector
general
Berlin.
was providing to me,
Ambush
and
camouflage
I
now
could.
available.
Initially, none of this is ready for you, but the more you upgrade your units, or the more you get upgraded, the more options you get in here that you could select. I have a lot of manpower since I've been talking for past 23 minutes, so I could actually bring in my shock troops now. They cost 360 manpower. I could select them and left click anywhere on the
Shock
map,
troops have
and the
arrived.
shock troops will actually arrive from the side of the map. You don't really have to train them from the buildings. These are special units. Uh, I,
What do you want,
just
comrade?
want to go back and add a few more pointers before I finish this tutorial, because from here on you guys pretty much have to select each building and kind of see what units you have and what they can do. But just to tell you this, every unit that's
Ready.
selected will give you options in here: attack, move, stop, retreat. You
Shock troops
could
can now be used to crush the
you'll
enemy.
see what um, special
Is over. I want to open a restaurant.
weapons they could get. Let me turn off my remove my face from there so you guys could see what options these guys have. So let me just turn this off, video capture.
Yes, I can be quiet.
So You can see my shock troops have personal grenades that they can throw. I'll throw one right now by left clicking, by selecting the grenade and then left clicking on a map. They also have smoke grenades that you could throw, and they'll throw a smoke grenade where it will give you cover, where your opponent will not be able to see you for a short period of time. So this goes for every unit. Each unit has their specials they could do. Each building selected will give you special units that you could build from them. This main building, like we talked about, has the extra abilities that it adds to your units. So I'm gonna select the Molotov package and the anti-tank grenade. Those are the actual packages that get added to your rifleman or infantry conscript infantry squad, if you wanna use the actual naming convention that they use in the game. And from their own, just practice, practice, practice. Hopefully this quick tutorial will help any of the new players, and to understand how to set up the game really quick and what to do and how to upgrade their units. Look at my engineers. They have a bunch of options in here that I could use. One of the options is a demolition charge. It's a very effective charge that you could put on anywhere on the map, and when your opponent passes by, you could actually explode it by clicking on it. And if my units were actually in a blue area, okay, let me go back one step. If you look at the map right here on a circle map in here, you will see that part of the map is blue, right? Blue shaded. That the blue shaded is my zone, I guess. And while you're in a zone, your units are able to be. You could upgrade your units. If I get out of the zone and go into a red zone, which is my opponent's zone, or a neutral zone, I will lose the option to upgrade my units. I'm going to retreat these guys because they're getting killed. So see, I got out of the blue zone. You guys could see the borders here, and my units lost the option. They're grayed out. So it could be grayed out for two reasons. One reason is you don't have of the specific thing that requires, and in here you could see it says required must be in a territory. So if I go back to my territory, to blue zone, the options will appear for me. But there's another reason why they could be grayed out is if you don't have enough ammunition. While I point my mouse on this icon, you see that it says that I need 60 ammunition to buy this. If I had under 60, this will be grayed out. Now I could click this and it will start upgrading and giving a flamethrower to my engineer. Yeah, each unit, like I said, they have different options, and if you select those units, you will notice sometimes those options are grayed out. If there are some units that require a level up to go to level 2 to get an extra option, you will also notice that during the game. Well, hopefully this quick tutorial helped you guys. If you guys would like to hear a little bit more in detail the tutorial, drop me a line in my comments, and I will make a tutorial regarding that subject. For now, I hope this helps. Thank you guys for watching this, and if you liked, go ahead and hit the like button, and go ahead and subscribe to get more notifications from me and see more of my posts. And hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully this will help again the beginners that install this game their first time. Have a good day. Bye bye.